Mm, Good morning. Good morning, Instagram. Welcome back to another episode of Where They At Wednesday. This is the time I take to speak with an entrepreneur in my network and share with you where they are. Oh, hey, Fitnessa. Hey, beautiful. Good to see you. I know it's a little earlier than we normally do it here on the West, but our guest today is on the East Coast, so I am happy to accommodate her. So it's 1 p.m. Eastern, you guys, and it's 10 a.m. in the Californias. Good morning, good morning. Hey, hi. So today's guest is the owner and operator of Kolors by K. She has a fantastic, robust nail polish line. Well, actually, it's more than nail polish, but we'll get into that. She's really dope. I actually have been following her for a long time before we interacted, but I just think that she'd be a great guest for you guys, especially with all these nail techs and everybody doing things at home and just gifts, just a lot of different reasons why. And because she's in business, I think she's dope. I think she's a really good person. So I'm going to go ahead and add her in. Looks like she's already ready. Thank you for joining us for Where They At Wednesday. Do, 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 do.
Hi.
Hello, hello. Good morning for me. Good afternoon for you.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Think about
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Thank you for joining me. I've been thinking about having you on here since I started it because I've been following you for a couple years now.
Oh, thank you
Um,
for me. I'm very
yeah, absolutely. I was actually following you on my other page where all the memes and shenanigans are.
You know, I have
Knowing that
2 pages, but it makes sense. Personal and a business.
exactly, you got to keep that low key separate. I mean, yeah.
No, it makes sense.
Definitely. All right. So, for those of you who are just tuning in to Where They At Wednesday for the first time, I'm Tay. I am founder of Go Go Glam and Tomorrow Mobile Notary, Miss Tay's Good Hair Day, the page that you're following here. And this is the time I take to talk to an entrepreneur in my network, somebody that I've met, I've encountered, I've got their goods and services that are my friends, or people I know and that I've met. Real whole people that have businesses that you guys can tap into and find out where they at, where their goods and services are. So without further ado, I will allow my guest to introduce herself this morning, afternoon.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. My name is Kalauna Carter. I am the CEO and founder of Colors by K Nail Polishes. They're environmentally friendly, vegan, tin free, and they're also handmade by me. I started, well, do you have questions or should I just?
Go, roll with it, baby.
Okay. Colors by K in 2016 after I graduated from Tuskegee University. And I knew that my degree was in environmental science with an emphasis in plant and soil, and then I guess a component focus in chemistry. So I took a whole bunch of chemistry courses, and I knew I wanted to use my degree in a way that could be beneficial to not only myself but like those around me, the community, in a way that could be helpful instead of just going to work every day. And so I decided to um, first I thought I was going to do a mentoring program, and uh, I had graduated and decided to go back home to visit my family, and I had went to the store, and this is how it kind of came about. I went to the store and bought some nail polish to kind of like decompress, and I had read that painting your nails was a stress reliever, and so I ended up taking the nail polish that I purchased from the store to my cousin's house, and she said, you know how much money you could have saved if you knew how to do that by yourself.
Hmm.
And it was something in that moment about why she said that and how she said it that just like sparked something in me. And I think in like 2 weeks later I ended up starting my business.
Hmm. 2 weeks later, the
Yeah.
idea is the lack of delay. So here's something interesting. Just last night, before bed, I was scrolling Instagram, and I follow quite a few pages. One of them is including Afrotech.
Hmm.
And there's a thread that was started asking entrepreneurs, business owners to share the mistakes that they made in the beginning so
Mm-hmm.
that new entrepreneurs can learn from their mistakes. And
Mm-hmm.
one of, there's a few things that were repeated. Number one, keeping, making time or building self-care into your business in the beginning. But another one of them was the procrastination piece, the sitting on ideas, the waiting for things to be perfect. And they were definitely advising against that. So for you to say that you got an idea and 2 weeks later started your business, that that's foreign to me. Procrastination is an issue of mine. So that is fantastic. So where did you start? So you got the idea, your cousin shot you a word and it spoke to your spirit. And what was the next step?
Coming up with a name. That day, she was like, let's come up with a name. Like, if you had a business, what would you name it? I had
Mm.
no idea because I think at that time when me and her were discussing it, now that I look back, she probably thought that I was just talking, just,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so I told her, I was like, I have no idea what I would name it, but I have to think about the base. I have to think
Right.
about the base. I have to think about the bottles. I have to think about all this stuff. And like, how am I going to do any of this? And she was like, well, here's $36 and you make something happen with that.
This ain't enough. Make it enough.
Yeah, pretty much what she told me. And so after that, I was kind of like, oh gosh, like I'm not sure where to even start. But
Mm-hmm.
she helped me, and she helped me develop, like, I guess the basics, like
Mm-hmm.
the name. Well, it's not necessarily the name because I had discussed that with my parents, but she helped me come up with like the logistics of getting materials, getting the base, making sure that the base was certified, making sure that the bottles were coming or can be produced in mass, like a large quantity.
Mm-hmm.
We set up my first vendor show, like all of it kind of just, but this all happened. So I graduated in May.
Mm-hmm.
I went home at the end of June. I went home around the 15th of June, and because I had went back to Tuskegee for a summer internship, and then I ended up going back to Portland, where I'm from. And this all happened, like, I want to say it happened at the end of July, toward the
Wow.
beginning of August. Yeah, so like I initially decided to start the business like July 6th, but I had my first vendor show like the end of July. I mean, it took off very quick.
So in that time frame, how did you come up with formulation or how to even make a nail polish? You know, because you went from graduating, going to buy polish to decompress to like I'm having nail polish. So where did
It,
the formulation or the stuff that I mean, because I would be thinking so many things. Where did that all fit in? It just popped.
I mean, it honestly, it just came together. I remember sitting in Portland thinking I have to be able to do something because I can't just be sitting here. A lot of times they don't like, colleges, it's a great thing, for those that choose to attend, but it does not prepare you for the after effects of when you graduate, especially if you don't start working right away and
Mm-hmm.
in a certain type of environment for so long, and then to have it shifted so
Yeah.
drastically, it plays a part in how you function to an extent. And so
Yeah.
when I got back to Portland, I was like, honestly and truthfully, I can't even tell you where my brain was. It was just
Wow.
like, I gotta get it done, gotta get it done, gotta call this person, gotta call this person, gotta go to this place and do this, gotta order this, gotta go pick up this. Like it just now when you brought up how you had looked at like Afrotech and the things that the entrepreneurs were saying they wish that they would have thought about differently. That
Mm-hmm.
is, I wish that if I could go back, I would have planned
Mm.
so that, not to say like I just had like a ton of hiccups while I've had my business,
Right.
but I would have been, I would tell someone like, because I started and just started.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
just,
kind of hit the ground and then work back like, okay, I need to do this. Okay, I need to do this. Okay, I see. Uh-huh.
Because there were so many things, like I even today there are specific things when it comes to like, one thing in particular I always think about is like promotion.
Yeah.
So there now, see, at that time when I started my business, you didn't need there was no such thing as paying for promotion on Instagram or
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. And
Mm-hmm.
people would post their stuff and people would see it and it would just, that's
Yeah.
how followers.
Yeah, the
And
algorithms were different then. They started to change them so where, yeah, people are hidden where you have to pay essentially for promo
yeah,
because it, to keep people active, they've shifted them algorithms so crazily. Yeah.
hmm I
But
mean,
at that time, it was like if you posted, they saw it.
exactly. But now everybody they can capitalize on it, and so it changes things. And so that's something that I guess is not the thing I would change. It's the one thing I haven't been the most prepared for, because I never. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm an entrepreneur." I don't say that.
Hmm.
I don't. I've never been. I've never. I'd be like, yeah, I have a business. I make nail polish, but
What
I don't.
is that's interesting to me. What's the difference in your mind? Why do you what makes it different for you?
I because I'm a scientist.
Hmm.
Like I got my bachelor's in environmental science, and then I got my master's in environmental management, and then I'm working on my PhD in environmental chemistry. So I consider myself kind of like a scientist that had an idea, because
Hmm.
I love to wear nail polish. Always have. I mean, when I look at pictures when I was like little, I remember
Hmm.
going to the salon it the first time in like third grade. I mean, like I've always loved painting my nails. But being like studying environmental science, you learn how things have detrimental impacts on our bodies that we're not aware of.
Hmm.
We women have, not women, but people who use these products such as makeup and hair products and body products. We've been made aware, like, okay, you might want to use this alternative because it's healthy.
Hmm.
There
Hmm. Hmm.
are articles out there on nail polish, but it is not one of the things that's heavily talked about that
Right.
actually affects people and their health. And so I kind of wanted to take something that I've loved to do, like, which is painting my nails and nail polish. I wanted to see not necessarily how I could reinvent the wheel,
Right.
but just put my own twist on it. So that
Hmm.
the colors that the polishes that, and the colors that women like to wear are still available to them, just in a healthier option.
Gotcha. So what did you find in there? So how can I rephrase this? What twist did you put on it based on what you know in science and what you were getting in the other nail stores that were like, what was unhealthy? What have you adjusted in yours that, you know what I'm saying? Like the changes that you wanted to make, what
Mhm.
were those changes?
So Colors by K nail polishes are 10 free. There's no just to name a few because there's a lot, but there's no like fragrance, there's no dibutylphthalate, there's no toluene, there's no camphor, there's no formaldehyde or formaldehyde resins. And
Formaldehyde.
yes,
I've
and
heard that word before.
yes, and
Mm.
one of those chemicals, I'm sorry, that they put in a lot of different products that they don't tell people that they're in. And so it's kind of, when you go to a store, and this is no disrespect to bigger brands, but when you go to a
Right.
store, those polishes are typically made for consumer purposes. So as fast as they can put them out, that's how fast people will purchase them. So they're not
Yeah.
made consumer in mind to think about what's in them.
Hmm.
So a lot of times those polishes will have chemicals in them that have detrimental impacts.
And most of the consumers don't know what it can potentially do to them, what they're putting in and on themselves to even ask the questions to even challenge it. So it's just
Because what happens is, sorry, what happens is, so it's that same concept of how they tell people this American standard, they tell people not to eat fast food. Yet
Mm-hmm.
there's a fast food restaurant everywhere.
Everywhere.
So it's that same component of we're gonna put it here, and no, it's not good for you. But if you choose to eat it, that's not our fault.
Right. But you're still producing it knowing it's not good for us.
Yeah.
And knowing that there aren't very many alternatives and that those alternatives probably won't be marketed as big as these ones will be. So we're going to make it readily available and in abundance. We're going to be like, I mean, you have a choice, but do we really?
Yeah.
And do we know that those choices exist? But now we know that we have a choice, people. Colors by K doesn't have those things in there.
No.
And I've looked at your, like I said, I've been following your page for a long time. I've looked at your website, and you have all the stuff that people get. I see there's dip powder. There's and I know that's a new thing that people have been using. The dip powder, the polishes. You have the whole kits there for people. You have gel polishes. So I mean, you have the options there without the poison included.
Yeah.
Um, Did you, when you started with just the regular standard polish, right? How long did it take for you to create um, the other products, the dip powder and the gel, and to decide that you wanted to have all of the other ones too, as opposed to just focusing on one?
Well, the dip powder is a fairly new product. I just came out with that within like the last year.
Okay.
And then I came out, so for like 2 years, I just had regular nail polish. And then at the end of year 2, I was able to come out with a gel polish. Um, and then I came out with like a nail strengthener.
Mm.
And
So I could use that.
and then and then I came up with this concept that it might be beneficial to, because I started realizing like everybody doesn't wear, so there's this notion that women wear gel polish and that's it because
Uh-huh.
they're to last as long as possible, you know. Well, my mom, she's been wearing nails majority of my life up until the pandemic, and she only wears regular polish.
Mm-hmm.
She's never worn gel. She does not wear she wears acrylic, but she doesn't wear dip powders.
Mm-hmm.
And so at this point, I want to make sure that as the industry keeps evolving, I'm able to keep up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's a big thing, is that because it's ever changing and it's always something new, you have to stay. Like you got, you always got.
Mm-hmm. Now I know also sometimes I feel like there's a difference between evolution and trends, because I
Mm-hmm.
think trends come and go, but evolution is something, a shift that continues, and it happens in waves. But trends, they kind of come in and then go out.
Mm-hmm.
How are you able to determine what to add to your business that is a part of the evolution of the industry, and what will be just a trend?
I try not to come out with dated products. So, I try to keep things very simple, very standard. And I know that sound kind of boring. It's like, okay, that's just playing it safe. But
I consider it classic. Classics last.
they do.
Yeah.
And people will buy what, like for example, something that was really trendy was Crackle, the nail polish,
Hmm.
where you would put it on and it would crackle like, dang, it's
Like
kind of,
pop rocks? Like pop rocks on your nails?
no, it's like, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. It's like crackle nail polish. So it would you paint it in like pieces.
Oh.
Figure out how to
Kind of
explain.
like the foil?
It's
Is
like
it
a,
like
but it's not glitter. It's
oh.
pieces of like like plastic,
Uh-huh.
but it was called crackle polish, and it was really popular in like the maybe like 2009.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was super popular. coming out with something like that that person has to be looking for that, because it's not
Yeah.
something you can go in a store and buy anymore. So now,
Right.
ironically, the trend went from like, okay, like, glitters and shimmers and pigments, those are always going to be popular. But then it started getting into crackle. Then they evolved and they went to like gel polish, and then coming out with those same glitters, pigments, and shimmers and gel.
Hmm.
And now it's like dip powders. So now they want to make, oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. It went from, okay, we have the gel polish, but I don't want to get gel on my toes because it's hard to take off. So then they evolved, and so now they have gel polish and the nail polish that matches it. And then
Yeah.
they evolved dip powders where, okay, I make the dip powder for your nails and I make the nail polish color for toes. And
Mm.
to keep like, it's always moving, you
Yeah.
know? So I try to keep things, I feel like the more standard products you have, it's because
Yeah.
now, or not, the movement is environmentally friendly.
Hmm. And that's always been your move.
Yeah, it's going that direction. And
Yeah.
so just
So
trying
you're
to keep,
already in the vein for that because that's always been your move to to take care of the person environment. So you already ready to rock. I do have a question because I've seen this in some descriptions for even some hair products, vegan products. When I think vegan, I think it's stuff we eat. How is something we're not eating vegan? That may
oh,
seem like a silly question, but I was like, how is that vegan? I really want to know.
because they use pork byproducts to produce a lot of things. So when I say my
Hmm.
vegan, something as simple as like the nail polish bottle, the actual component that attaches the brush to the lid or to
Yeah.
they can use gelatin to harden that or to create
Oh,
a product. Yeah, because they make products with animal things we use with animal byproducts.
got it. That
Mhm.
makes sense because I've always wondered. I was like, does that mean that you can eat it? But that wouldn't be vegan. That would just be edible. You know what I mean? So thank you for answering that for me. That may seem like a silly question, but I know some of you have asked yourself the same thing when you're looking at something that you know you're not eating and it says it's a vegan product. So thank you for answering that for me. Now, where can we find you? I know, follow her Instagram. I know you can find her there, but are you present in any stores or in anywhere off Instagram?
Yeah, I'm actually in two nail salons
Okay.
that are located in Portland, Oregon
Okay.
for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Still trying to work on that. It's a little bit more challenging because I'm a what I would consider like what they would consider a private business. And so a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times into like these major nail salons or getting into these major stores, you have to have so much insurance. And
Uh-huh.
so at the same time, still trying to build my business, I'm still trying to get that component as well.
Okay.
So
But in the meantime, if someone wanted to reach you to order, the best place would be through Instagram or through your website, colorsbyk.com.
yes, on my Instagram, website, my TikTok. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and they're all at Color.
All the platforms.
Hmm.
At Colors by K. You guys heard it first here. At Colors by K on all platforms. And her website, colorsbyk.com. Um, if someone wanted to, if another smaller private business or independent nail tech or something wanted to get like a package to use your product in their business, do you
Hmm.
have something set up for like, I guess, wholesale, for the lack of a better word, or as opposed to the retail?
Oh yes, I do wholesale orders. I do wholesale.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, I definitely have those.
Nice. That's good to know because you have a lot of good stuff here. If you guys get a moment, not just scroll her Instagram, like really go to her website. It's she has a lot of options. It's very easy to navigate. Really pretty colors, and they're pretty well pigmented, right? Like you only have to put on a couple coats to see the color pretty good. I haven't bought any just yet because I don't ever paint my nails. I do need to paint these toes though. If you see this situation, I swear, shutdowns have shut my feet down. They have shut my feet down. I think I have polished kind of just on my two big toes, and then the rest of them are just kind of.
Oh my goodness.
But I clean them and I moisturize them.
That's what's most important.
The foundation, everybody. Keep them clean and moisturized, and then we can accessorize with Kolors by K.
Yeah.
And this is a good time. I see that you have some packages. So if you're doing some home pedicures while we're shut down to get you by, she has the buffers and the stuff on there too. So we can have some pedicure parties. Maybe we can do a Zoom pedicure party with some Kolors by K, because Jesus knows.
No,
I'm tired.
That's new though, because I have not done that. I haven't done
We should.
that.
Let's do it.
That's innovative. I like that. That's a good idea.
I be having good ideas.
No, sir. I mean,
throw it out there. No, that would be fun.
Yeah, because considering, especially right now, like everyone's comfortability is different when it comes to like going to a nail salon. So if you don't feel comfortable going to a nail salon, I mean, if you have girls' night, that would be.
And where I am, we're not open. We're still not open. In Santa Clara County in San Jose, we're still not open. So
what's the conditions there?
I don't know, whatever the news say. I mean, you know what the news say and what reality is often different. Yeah. But we ain't open. That's what the condition is.
I mean, down here, like I told my parents the other day, like if you come to Florida, I mean, it doesn't even, I'm not going to, it exists. And I'm very sensitive to those that have been affected.
Yeah.
But it's just wide open.
Yeah, we're not. I mean, I don't know if you know, I'm a licensed hairdresser. I'm a cosmetologist. Mm-hmm. Salons are still closed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't even know what
it ain't nothing to say. We just rock. We do what we can. And in the meantime, we sharing where we can get stuff off the street. So here we are, and that's the beauty of knowing that you can. Imagine if we were restricted to even getting certain things, or like, even though we can't go to a professional who can do our stuff, like what if we didn't even have the option to go on colorsbyk.com and buy things, because it's more, this is what I know. The beauty industry is more than outward beauty. It's self-care, and self-care is healthcare. Yeah. It goes even deeper than just making you feel good to make you, to help your health, but also, like we were joking about just a second ago, washing my feet and keeping it moisturized. There are some people who are not able to do that, who go to nail salons and hair salons and to estheticians because they need a specific kind of care, and because you're getting a licensed professional to give you the care that you can't give for yourself. Your hair, skin, and nails is your integumentary system. It's the first line of defense of your body. It's a protective layer of your body. So caring for it, putting the right things in it and on it, is caring for your health. Like you were talking about, just the whole basis of your company being a scientist and knowing that these things are not good for our temple, our person, our health. It makes a difference. And I think that oftentimes our industry is downplayed as just, looking and feeling cute. Well, you look good, you feel good, but it's healthcare. We are licensed, those who are administering services were licensed with safety and sanitation and people care in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So to have a product like this available for someone who is conscious of those things and who would provide those services, or is at home and can't get the services, the help that they need, at least the products they use can be healthier for them and friendlier to their person environment. So it's so much more than how we're portrayed. The industry itself is so much more than how it's portrayed. It's a whole lot of science involved. I tell people all the time, like, haircutting is all geometry. It's all angles. You think you ain't gonna never use it from 10th grade when you take geometry, and then you become a cosmetologist or something like that, or an architect, and then you end up using these things. Chemistry. We use chemicals, or even just how things react to your body, the physiology and the chemistry of it. Shampoos and conditioners, the pH on there, what's going on with your hair, skin, and nails, and how is that going to react with the products that we're using on it.
Right.
It all makes sense. It all works together. So I will say this, I appreciate you, Miss Scientist with a business, even though you don't consider yourself an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur scientist.
Yes.
Because we need people like you. We need people who have a conscience. We need people who care about what goes in and on our bodies. Because like you were saying, we're told that we have a choice, but where are the choices if we're bombarded with the things that are not good for us? So,
and it's unfortunate because all of that plays a major part. It's a cycle, I don't want to get too much into it, but it plays a role in, pharmaceuticals and all of that kind of stuff. And it's definitely something that I wish that was more pushed.
Yeah.
No. But then it impedes on people's free choice.
Yeah.
If we could just have these healthier options and kind of remove those that aren't, it's still, someone may not want that. They're going to say, no, I want this.
Well, but here's the thing though, at least they would, even if it doesn't completely remove the other stuff, having something like this that's better actually creates a choice, because otherwise you don't have other options. You're like, yeah, I'd like something that's better for me, but what?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just get what I'm used to. I'll just get what I'm used to seeing. I'll get what I've always gotten. I'll get one of these many options that are not good for me because they're there. So I don't think that it impedes on a choice. I think it creates one.
Okay, I could see that. I see what you're saying.
It creates a choice.
You're right. It does.
It's like we were using the fast food as an example. I lived in East Palo Alto for a minute, and this city is small. There's 2 McDonald's there. There's, some other stuff. But then when you go across the freeway to a different community, ain't no McDonald's, but you got Whole Foods, you got Pluto's, the salad spot, you got this and that and the other. But all you have is fast food and fat food right down the street in this other community. So when we talk about options, if you're hungry, if you don't have a lot of money, if you don't have a car to get across the bridge, then what are you stuck with? The options. You don't have a choice.
Right.
They say that there's a choice, but where are they? So I don't think it impedes on choice at all. I think it creates options. It creates the opportunity to make a choice. So I appreciate that you have created a choice for some people, for those, because a lot of people, they don't even know that these things are in there, or even what they do. Tin, I didn't even think about that. What does tin do? How does that affect your body?
Tin?
You said it, polish is tin free, and you listed a bunch
Oh,
of stuff.
the 10
Mm-hmm.
chemicals. There's a set 10 chemicals that affect your body in a negative way, and so
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll just throw out a couple because it's a lot. But like formaldehyde
Mm-hmm.
products that they put in a lot of different things that, and I can share something. I don't know if you've seen it, but formaldehyde is a toxin that they
Mm-hmm.
put in nail polish, and they also put it in. They use that to embalm bodies.
Mm.
Formaldehyde will cause you to have respiratory issues. It'll also cause yellowing of your nails on your hands and your feet. Um,
Mm.
and I don't know if you've seen it. I believe it's, I hate to name drop, but it's public. Is it Tresemme?
Mm.
Involved in a class action lawsuit due to
Wow.
putting a chemical in their shampoo that when the chemical is wet, it releases formaldehyde. So
And if
women's,
it needs to be wet.
and women now, women have been saying their hair is falling out.
Mm-hmm.
They've had to go back and reevaluate. There are about 15 products that are causing these impacts, and not just women, but men. The chemical
Wow.
Dove men's hair care. So a lot of people are out here thinking like, oh, I've been really stressed out. My hair is falling out. Oh, I have alopecia. Oh, it's like, no, it's
Mm-hmm.
really the shampoo you're using. And so formaldehyde, to me, formaldehyde and formaldehyde resins are one of those things that I'm like, I don't even want that around me. Camphor is a very popular component they put in nail polish.
Mm-hmm.
Camphor, it's so funny because camphor is toxic to humans. It causes respiratory issues, but guess what they put camphor in?
What?
Vicks.
What?
It's what helps you breathe when you're.
And it causes respiratory, and it's an ingredient in something that's supposed to help you breathe, and it causes respiratory issues. And you know what that makes me think of? Creating customers. If you are buying something that you think is going to do one thing, and then it slowly creates more of a problem, then you feel like you have to continue to buy that thing. So now you done created a lifelong, listen.
Kind of like medicine. Once you get, like my parents are older, and so they take, like my dad, for example, he's older,
Mm-hmm.
and so he was born with a heart murmur. So,
Uh-huh.
and because he's up in his age, he'll be 70 in June. He might fall out if I told y'all that, but he has to take stuff. He has to take like certain medicines because of his age to keep his heart murmur from disturbing him. He's never had any issues with it, but just
Mm-hmm.
because, so now it's like you're taking this medicine that if you stop taking it, you risk the potential of something happening.
Right.
Kind of like you were just saying, it
Mm-hmm.
creates an
They
ailment.
created Knox, and that's the thing. They're legally creating Knox. And if you have been involved in any street activity or been connected to it, you know what a knock is. It's a customer. It's someone who is addicted to and who needs your product. And they create it, and I see it a lot of the time where you'll be prescribed something for symptom management, and because you start to feel better, you think that it's helping you, but it's not changing your circumstances, and there are side effects that are creating other problems that now you're going to need more medicine for.
Yeah.
So
And
to
that was,
have
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead, please.
Well, I was just going to say that was the whole reasoning. That became the purpose with my business, is
Yeah.
that there are women who suffer from, and I created it at that time, for all those that wear nail polish, but it was specifically created for women that suffer from health ailments. Because a lot of times a woman will suffer from, and I'm very sensitive about these topics, but a woman could suffer from, say she's had breast cancer, or she's had ovarian cancer, or cervical cancer, or she suffers from diabetes or lupus. Sometimes using a nail polish that has a chemical in it can actually trigger certain things in your body. And so
Right.
passion was to create a nail polish that worked that worked toward the betterment of your health and not against it, by putting
Yeah.
on your body that could potentially make your ailment worse. And so
Mm-hmm.
I didn't I wanted to that was my way of trying to fix that, because as you know, as an African American woman, the statistics show that we are disproportionately affected by things that don't affect others. And so
Right.
I wanted to create something where, not to single anyone out or to leave anyone out, because like I said, it was made for all women, but just something that could help change those percentages.
Yes.
Statistics.
Yes.
And so
That's
that's
why I said before, it's not, it's creating options. It's not
mhm,
impeding on choice, it's creating a choice. So you have an option. You have something here that looks good, feels good, and is good. It glitters and it's gold. You see what I'm saying? And all from you just caring. And I think that a lot of the time it comes from that, our personal passions. We have an idea like, okay, well, yeah, this will benefit me. But you know what? There are other me's in this world.
mhm,
I can't be the only one on the planet that may be affected or that has been affected or would even like this, you know?
yeah.
So, what a beautiful, beautiful way to use your your joy, your outlet, your nail polish enjoyment from even being a child, and your scientific background. And 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 I can say that because number one, you're a scientist, and because this information, even if the media tried to dumb down some of the stuff, the fact that you're a scientist means that it's scientifically proven that your nail polish is better than everybody else. So and I'm joking, but I'm not. So again, colorsbyk.com, and at Colors by K on all social media platforms, including
With
but
the
not limited to Instagram.
yes.
I love it. I appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well.
So, do you have anything in mind coming up the pipeline in the next however soon?
Um, in regards to like products.
Products, your business, another product, anything?
Well, recently, I'm not sure. There's an organization called the Fearless Fund.
Mm,
It's by Ariane Simone and Keisha Knight Pullen,
okay.
and they have an accelerator program where
Mm,
Madden sponsored like 50 women of color businesses to be part of
yeah.
this 12-month accelerator program, and
Ooh.
selected. And so that starts tomorrow. And I've been really, really, really praying for the last year and a half to have, I wanted to be placed in a space where I could receive mentorship and like figure
Yeah.
out people really break these doors down, because I'll be completely transparent. I'm kind of at a place where it's like, I feel like I'm trying to be strategic now and actually plan things instead of just rush them or impulsively pursue them in regards to products. And
Mm,
so I kind of wanted to put myself in a position where, okay, help me execute a real plan that'll actually get me to the next level in regards to
mm,
venture, like networking, and being in a space where, um, being in a space where the group is like-minded. And
yeah.
so that is a really big thing for me right now that actually starts tomorrow. And I really want to create a at home. I'm in the process of finalizing the products for my at home nail care kits, so
Yeah.
that with the pandemic, if you decide that you want to do your nails at home, you have every supply you need to execute the perfect manicure and pedicure. So
Hmm.
that is my main goal right now. Those two things.
I love your mind. I love your mind, and I'm very, very, very proud to have you as a part of my network. Seriously, wholeheartedly. I don't volunteer lies. Ask anyone who knows me. So, this is this is the beautiful thing. So here's another question, because you mentioned the mentorship is so important. I am on the hunt for the same thing, you know, and because you don't want to do things impulsively and then have to double back, but you also don't want to over plan for a perfect opportunity in your mind when perfection doesn't exist. You got to just go. So finding that balance and having mentorship and having the right people around you in your environment is super important. So I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you this:
Hmm.
through this journey of building your brand, areas of you personally have also built? What areas have you grown as a person?
Oh, I've definitely grown. So naturally, like I'm very like, oh gosh. Okay. So naturally, but it's a real thing. Like naturally I'm very sensitive. I'm very empathetic. And
Yeah.
so having a business I've encountered things that I never like a couple, like if I didn't have my business, I don't know if I'd be able to deal with them.
Mm.
Um, in regards to like over the years of having my business, my skin in regards to, I'll say like things like constructive criticism or
Mm-hmm.
just critique is like, thank you. And I appreciate it. And I'm able to process it from that place. It's
Yeah.
definitely helped me grow as a person and understand things that I didn't understand before. Like I've had a situation where there was I'm coming at it from a professional perspective, and then
Mm-hmm.
everyone is not doesn't think from that place.
Yeah.
So having to, grow thick skinned, understanding the way that others think has been a major, major component for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really learned how to I have learned so much in how to just not necessarily run a business because I don't think I'm like a business guru. And I hope that doesn't sound like insecure, but I've learned so many things. Like I built my website by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So funny when I think about it, like I came up in MySpace and like
Mm-hmm.
this thing called Zanga, which was like a blog. Oh, it was so, but you had to learn you in order to have like a Zanga blog, you had to build in
Yeah.
HTML. So learning how to do that, understanding the algorithm of when to post, how to post, understanding how to use hashtags. I'm not saying that people who talk about that stuff, it's like, how do they know this? Or is it almost redundant at this point? But it is a true science on how that stuff works.
It
And
is.
I learned how to I really learned how to network. I
Mm-hmm.
deem myself a complete introvert. I'm not a very like social person, but if you ask people
Mm-hmm.
that know me, they'll probably tell you that that's a lie. But I think I'm
Well, I relate to that. You know, I consider myself an omnivert. Others would consider me an extrovert, but I'm definitely more in than my personality leads on. Definitely.
yeah,
At least my outward perception of my personality. So I totally wholeheartedly understand and identify with that.
like I yeah, that's I'm like that too. Like I can like if I'm comfortable, I can definitely talk. That's fine. But I feel like I'm naturally an introvert, and so having a business will literally force you out of that
Yeah.
because you have to sell your business if you want it to grow and be successful. So that's definitely something that I have learned and have grown within myself about.
Hmm. Well, what a beautiful journey it is. I'm doing these Where They At Wednesdays. It always brings out more than I ever anticipate. And I think it's valuable to get to know the person behind the page, you know, understand the passion and where it comes from. And, you know, there are people who build these businesses, there are people who build these brands, you know, and I just think it's important to take some time every now and again to display that. And I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. Again, colorsbyk.com, and that's colors with a K.
Yes.
It's colors, 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 colors with a K. So I know I'm hecka old school. Y'all shut up. So, but colorsbyk.com and at colorsbyk on Instagram. Did you say TikTok?
Yeah. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
All of it.
Yes.
Tap in, stay tapped in, look pretty, and don't have the health backlashes attached to it. And we should start putting together that petty party. And so my feet don't grow. I will put them on camera, but I'm just way ashamed. And I'm not normally ashamed about my fur and my feet and my stuff like that. But right now, it's a whole situation.
It's such a good idea. I feel like I would have to ask someone who's a licensed nail tech to walk us through, because I'm not, you know, so okay.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah.
Yep. No problem. And actually, as a cosmetologist, we are trained in hair, skin, and nails, so I know how to do a proper pedicure anyway.
Oh. Well, you can do it, because I don't want anyone to say, well, she said to do this, and they toe off.
Yeah, I mean, it's really it's the being careful about the nipping and the cleaning and a proper way to file according to state board regulation, how they have us do it. But other than that, I mean, if you ain't stabbing yourself up, you like.
Yeah, I think I've not lost any fingers yet.
Yeah, I mean, I still have all my toes with my patchy polish and all. So, I mean, I think we all right. I really, really appreciate you. I really want to, I want to stay connected with you. I would love to know more about this program that you're starting. And I'd also like to connect you with another network, this woman who's actually also a scientist. She's a chemist. She came out with the skincare line. She does permanent makeup. She also does networking events via Zoom for business development and things like that. Matter of fact, she just tapped in Custom Beauty by Maya. If you see her down there, Maya Purcell, I had her on before too. Really, really sweet, super duper smart. Similar minds. That you reminded me of her when we first spoke. I was like, scientists and beauty. See, it all works together. We're all connected. Yeah. So I think that would be a good connection, especially since we were talking about networking and things like that. Yeah, keep growing. I am inspired. I am encouraged. I am happy. I love that it's you who's representing this. Hey, Maya. I love that it's you who's representing this. I love that you are the face behind this brand. I love your heart. I am grateful. Thank you for joining me today.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about my business.
Absolutely. Yes, please. So this is gonna be saved. You guys can rewatch this on IGTV. You can rewatch it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel that is turned into Where They At Wednesday, but it started out, it was gonna be my commentaries on stuff, but I don't really have very many on-camera comments. So rewatch it, tap in, follow her on Instagram, follow her on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. And definitely go in. I mean, she has these beautiful colors, these beautiful products. You can use them for gifts, birthday parties. I know pamper parties. I know my cousin, for one of her little girls' birthdays, had a whole girls' pamper party. And so they did manis and petties and facials and a fashion show. And Corinne says this is a show, that Where They At Wednesday is a show. Okay, it's a show, Corinne. Thank you for tuning into my show with all my fantastic guests. I love sharing, you guys. I feel like
there's no point, like what is the real point of having a potentially global platform, no matter how big or how small you deem it to be, if you're not going to use it to share something that matters? Or, you know, what are we doing for?
Yeah.
Everyone has a sphere of influence. What are you using your sphere of influence for?
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true.
I'm grateful. Thank you. Hallelujah was a word, wasn't it?
But
Colorsbyk.com. Follow her, tap in, buy something, say hello to her. You know, you guys stay tapped into these entrepreneurs or science-preneur. What is it? What a preneurtist. What did I call you? Entrepreneur scientist.
Yes.
Entrepreneur scientists and these sisterpreneurs and these mompreneurs and these dadpreneurs. Please.
Yes.
This is social media, social networking, network. There's no reason why we should lack when we have so many people that are doing so many things.
Yes, that's true.
Boom. Boom shakalaka. We're going to end it there. Thank you again. I appreciate you. We're going to be in touch, love.
Yes, ma'am.
We need to do this petty party.
Yes, yes, we do. We do.
Mommy's tootsies are not happy.
I'm gonna get these kits finished up, get everything that needs to be in them, and then we're gonna be rocking and rolling.
Sounds good to me. I'm with it.
Yes.
I'm down like pennies in the back seat. Wait, I probably shouldn't have said that. See, you got to stop me when I said to stop. Okay. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to another Where They At Wednesday. Tap in, Colors by K, colorsbyk.com. Nail polish, dip powders, gel, the whole kit and caboodle, and it's good for your body. Formaldehyde and etc. not included. And it's vegan. That means that there's no pork used in the cap. I didn't even know that.
And it's PETA and Leaping Bunny program certified.
Oh, I love Bunny. Just love me for who I am. I love you too.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in again. I appreciate you for continuing to watch. Stay tapped in. Follow these entrepreneurs. Again, Colors by K. All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.